Having previously eyeballed the difference between the two flavors of our Astroid 2 template, it is time to roll up our sleeves and start taking them apart. First, we navigate to System, Site Template Styles, and select the Astroid Template 2 default flavor, and then click on Template Options. Once in the Astroid admin area, we navigate to the Layout section. Now, from here on in, we're going to use a little trick to help us have a visual understanding of how the whole layout thing works in the Joomla front end. I will link the details of how exactly this works in the description, but in practice, what I would do is I will repeatedly add a little piece of code, $TP equals 1 to the end of the front end Joomla URLs. This gives us a visual guide for how the sections in the front end relate to the sections in the back end, as they are one and the same sections. It just helps us with layout, understanding the layout and the formatting. And let's work through this section by section in the layout section, starting with the top bars. Top A and top B are two module positions that are inside the Astroid framework, and we have an address, contact info assigned to top A, and we have social icons assigned to top B. These are coming from different places within the Astroid framework. So inside miscellaneous, we have contact info, and here we see that top A is assigned to the contact info, and that's why it's appearing here. Let's go to the social icons, and here we see the module position, top B, for the social profiles appearing here. We can swap all of these things out here at this level. So for example, we could swap out the top B and the top A here in the social profiles and in the contact infos at this level here. And of course, we can just do all of this at a very, very basic level in the layout section by simply dragging and dropping these things. Saving it, refreshing the front end, and we see that they've been swapped out. Let's put them back the way they were. Save it and refresh. Let's have a look at the header section, which we see here. It's obviously the header, which includes the menu and the logo and all kinds of little bells and whistles. We have more settings for the header in here in the header section. So we can swap things out. We see the module position here as well, Astroid header. And we go back to the layout. Let's just disable it. It's obviously gone. Put it back on. And let's just for a laugh, put the top bars below the header section. Save it and refresh the front end. And we can see we've got more options here. So the header is now actually above the top bar. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's put this back down where it belongs, below the top bars. Save it and refresh. We're going to look at the banner section, and we're going to find this off in another place in the Joomla backend and not here in the Astroid backend. But before doing that, let's just note here at the front end, there's nothing happening. We're on the blog page and we are not seeing any banner here. We're not even seeing a little preview for where the banner could go. Let's leave Astroid for a minute and we go to menus, main menu, and we're going to go to blog. And here we've got these tabs related to all kinds of functionality for this page, for this menu item. And we have these tabs here with a little color, a little colored dot. And these are extra options that are related to Astroid. So we're going to go to the banner options here, And we're going to switch this banner on here. We're going to say yes to that. And we're going to save it. And we're going to refresh the front end. And first off, we just see a big blank space. Now this is, bear in mind, we're doing this on a page by page basis in the menu settings, the menu item settings. Let's select a picture here. I like those phones. Select them, save, and refresh the front end. So now we've got, that could be our banner. Obviously we can tweak it. Let's close that. Let's go back to our template. Instead of default one. The layout section. And here's the banner. We could, for example, turn this off here, disable it. And refresh. And it's gone. I'm going to just disable that and leave it off for the moment. Looking at the content section next, it's divided into 3 columns. We've got a sidebar left, we've got a whole pile of stuff here in the middle, and we've got a sidebar right. The sidebar left is essentially unoccupied. Sidebar right has some Joomla modules which we will get to shortly. Some of these are set up, so we've got the breadcrumbs here. We don't have any messages. We've got space for putting some content in the top or in the bottom. And we want to focus here on the component area. Now remember, this template is the default template and it's assigned essentially to all pages except the home page. Let's disable the component area here, save it, and refresh the front end. And essentially the Joomla components that are being linked up to the menu items here, such as blog, login, registration, and contact, now disappear because this has been disabled. Let's switch that back on, save it, refresh, and go back to our blog in this case. Let's look at this briefly at the Joomla end. We're going to go to menus, main menu, and the different menus are being set up to different components. So the blog page, the blog menu item, is going to a category blog, all blog posts basically uncategorized. The pages, no, let's just stick to contact. It's the same principle across the board. It's being set up and linked up with a Joomla list of contacts. And of course we could select and tweak these in the menu item type section. But we're going to just leave that as it is. We're just trying to understand how all of this works here. Returning to the templates, specifically the template 2 default template, layout section. In the sidebar right, we've got modules, and we have the main menu, the login form, and the tags. Back to Joomla again for a minute. And this time we're going to go to site modules. And here we've got the main menu. And I think we did this previously in this playlist, if not somewhere else as well. So let's just switch off the tags, for example, and refresh. And the tags are gone. Let's put them back on and go back to System, Styles, Default. And of course we can just disable all these things all in one foul swoop. And needless to say, this applies to all pages where this template is applied. At this point we've covered pretty much most of our bases. We just have the footer section left here. And the footer section contains a whole bunch of new items, and they are called widgets. Now, maybe the easiest way to get a very broad overview of widgets is to press on the little plus button here, add an element, and we see we have items that we can add. We have the option to add Joomla modules, which we're not going to do now, or to add widgets. So to add a widget, we would select it and we could get in here and start editing it. We're not going to do that. We already have a widget here. It's one of several, one of 12. There will be more widgets in the future, guaranteed. And the functionality is evolving rapidly as of recording. Let's just come in here and edit this one widget, one of 12, to get a little idea. Let's just crank up the width and let's change the color to something like pink and save it, and refresh the front end. So here we have edited our first widget. We're going to look at widgets in more detail in the next section, where we will actually be moving over to the home page, where we also have an identical footer. And we'll also be looking in more detail at some of these other widgets on the home page. I hope this is useful and informative. Thank you for your time.